Good morning, everybody. This is your pal Patrick. Welcome to another IZBLAB video. And this is the graphics tablet glove, the artist glove. I can't really think of what it's called at the moment. But this is the glove that I made a couple years back that got such a warm reception on YouTube. I didn't think people would be this interested in it. Anyway, I've been asked a couple of times how I made it, and there were a couple of questions that were asked about it. And I think the most recent question was request I should say, was show us how to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I've never done a tutorial video, so I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know how smooth it's going to go, but we'll figure it out together. Blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. Let me go off camera for a moment and get my water. And then I'll talk about what it is that I did and how I made this glove. Okay, so before I actually talk about that, I want to go over a couple of things. First of all, one of the questions that was asked of me was whether or not a wool glove would work. The answer to that is yes. Really, anything that prevents your hand from touching the input surface of the graphics tablet, or what have you. Anything that keeps you from touching the surface will work. You could tie a bandana around your hand and that would do the same thing. So yes, a wool glove would work, and it might even be considerably easier to just cut off the thumb and the index and middle finger. But the thing that you have to think about is the next thing I want to talk about, and that is the comfort of it. I don't know about all the different graphics tablets out there. I do know about the Huion that I have and the Samsung Galaxy 10.1 tablet that I had, that I was actually using this glove with. This glove was actually made for that, actually. After extended use, the tablets tend to get a little warm, and I noticed that with the Samsung 10.1 tablet, Samsung Galaxy 10.1, using Autodesk Sketchbook, that tablet would get fairly hot. So continued usage would cause the tablet to get hot. That tablet would cause my hand to perspire in the glove, and the perspiration would come through the glove or through the sock, honestly. And it would start to register on the Samsung tablet. So as I was drawing and it would start to get damp on the glove, the tablet would pick it up as an input, and all of a sudden my art piece would start to rotate and zoom in, zoom out, just do all kinds of wonky stuff because it was picking up all of this input from my hand thanks to the perspiration. So you could use a wool glove, you could use anything, but you might want to think about comfort. What I'm going to use today is a black cotton sock, just for the sake of showing you guys how to do it. I really wouldn't recommend using the black cotton sock, and while the wool glove would work, I wouldn't recommend using that unless you know you can use it in comfort and it won't cause your hand to sweat. But I'm using that for, like I said, the sake of showing you all how I did it. I myself would stick with a nylon dress sock of some kind. Okay? Now, another thing is, when I made this to fit over my pinky. Okay? And because of the way I hold my hand and the tablet that I was using, Samsung Galaxy 10.1, yes, 2014 edition, my ring finger would come in contact with the surface of the tablet, and so that would register the input and it would get kind of wonky and all that. So what I wound up doing was just putting both fingers inside, and it seemed to work just fine. Actually, I still use this glove because now I have a Surface Pro, Microsoft Surface Pro 3. I think I got it right. Anyway, The point I was trying to make is that with that, just like with the tablet, the Samsung tablet, it would register the input of the ring finger that was down. So I put both fingers in here, and the sock stretches, and it, you know, after you take it off, it returns back to its original shape. The nylon socks tend to do that more often than the cotton socks. But like I said, we're going to use it. Now, if you want to get around the perspiration deal, because you do still experience that with this, you may want to look into other types of socks. I know that they have some socks out there that allow your feet to breathe and reduce the sweating. So if you want to go out and invest money into a pair of socks that you're going to wind up cutting up for the sake of making a couple of gloves, then more power to you. All right, enough yammering. Let me get to it. Couple of socks. These are a few years old, and I'm just going to get one, and I'm going to put my hand in here right off the bat to determine where I want to cut. Okay, let me look at what I'm looking at here. Make sure it's all nicely framed in my phone. I'm using a Google Pixel, the normal one, the first generation Google Pixel. This phone is completely paid for, so I'm not getting another phone. Now I'd like to get, I'm yammering, aren't I? I'm going off topic. I'd like to get the Galaxy Note 9. Are we up to 9 now? Is Samsung up to 9? I think they are. I'd like to get the latest Note, but I'm not going to spend that money. This phone works absolutely marvelous, and I love the pictures it takes, so I'll stick with this phone until it dies. Anyway, now this has a hole in the heel, so what I plan to do is, you know, just kind of move the sock up high enough so that I can get it to where I can figure out where I want to cut it, and basically eliminating this hole. Okay, you guys see what I'm saying? I want to be able to cut it where I'm eliminating the hole and making something nice and neat. I am going to take note of how far I need to go down. I'm going to feel on the fingers. I want to cover both the pinky and the ring finger, so I'm going to feel around. I don't need to feel up here, but you guys get what I'm saying. I'm going to just kind of feel in there and figure out where I want to cut. I'm going to be taking this off and putting it on a few times to make sure I've got it where I want it. I think this is good, so I'm going to start first by cutting this here. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to cut this whole section, just cut the toes off, and then move on from there. So I've got my scissors here, and I'm just going to cut. I'm going to curve up a little bit because I know I don't really need to. I don't need to be perfect because I'm going to be sewing this together anyway, so it doesn't really have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and figure out where the heel is, because maybe I do want to be somewhat perfect. So I don't want to create more work for myself when I go to sew this together. So I'm going to, there we go. So I think that's good. I'm going to put this back on. Okay. And yeah, this feels good right here. Right here feels good. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to cut right here. Maybe I'll go ahead and grab my scissors, try to cut with my left hand, and you know, just kind of get up in there. And there. Now I know that's where I want to start the cut. I'm looking, I'm feeling, I figure, okay, maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll cut another 1/2 inch in, because I don't mind this stretching a little bit. So maybe I'll cut another 1/2 inch in and cut right here. Yeah, that feels good right there. Okay, so we're going to do this again. We're going to get back here. And I'm going to cut it at a severe angle, because I just need to mark it. Okay. Right now, it's looking okay. I feel like this is okay for me. I feel like I could live with what I've got here. Come on, let's line up this cut. There we go. Okay, now the next step is to just cut this just a little more and then go straight for that one. Just a touch. There we go. That's far enough, because like I said, I don't mind this stretching a little bit. I think I'll cut a little more in. I'd rather cut too shallow than too deep, because I don't want my glove to be too loose. But again, remember, this is a cotton sock, and it might stretch and whatnot with constant use. Although this pair, excuse me, is already a couple of years old, so a few years old, so it's probably stretched out as much as it's going to. Now if I just kind of put this on, I see that yes, this is fine for me. I can live with this. I just need to come in here and sew all this up. I don't know how far I'm going to sew, but I will figure that out too. So now the next step is to, yeah, I guess just to sew. Before I sew, I'm going to cut this corner off, kind of round it out, and then I'll go from there. At this point, you're going to want to figure out which side you want out and which side you want to be the inside. I know that is kind of silly to mention, but you know, you may decide that if you turn it inside out, you may decide, well, I like the feel of the glove on my hand when it's inside out, so maybe I want the inside to be the outside of the glove. So whichever you choose, make sure that whatever's going to be on the inside of the glove, whatever's going to be the inside of the glove is turned out when you start sewing. All right. I already have a needle and thread ready here. I think I'll do a little time lapse for this portion. I am going to sew all around here and stop it about here. I might sew a little further, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I can't cut the thread and scale it back a little bit, but I might sew a little further in, I don't know. But here we go. This is the time lapse portion. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this up, and when I'm done sewing, the glove will pretty much be done. That's it. That's it. I may have cut the, I may have cut it a little too close to the knot there. It might unravel over time, but that's basically it. Okay, so now when I turn it inside out, keep in mind I didn't pay as much attention to the sewing as I should have as far as the spacing and whatnot. I tried to compensate for the amount of thread I had, and when I got to the end, I realized I had a lot more than I originally thought, so I went back over it to try to reinforce it, but I think it turned out okay. Here's my glove. And there it is. Works perfectly. Well, fits perfectly. I can hold whatever I need to. I can do my drawing on a tablet, what have you. I use a Huion. It came with the glove, so I don't really need it for that. But like I said, I do have a Surface Pro 3, so that'll come in handy. I have two gloves now. They don't match, but I have two gloves now. Now remember, originally when I made this, I made it for a Samsung tablet, and I will be using this for my Surface Pro 3. Those dudes get hot after extended use. So if it gets hot and your hand starts to perspire in the glove, the perspiration will come through, and it will more than likely register as a touch input on whatever tablet you're using this on. However, if you're using a graphics tablet that only accepts the pen input, touch input, then you're fine. Your hand can get as hot as it wants to and perspire all it wants. It won't affect the input on that tablet. So that's it, guys. That is how I made this glove here. What do you think? Is that cool? Is that good? Saves you money? A lot of tablets come with these gloves now. My Huion came with one anyway. I like it. I actually like how this one turned out. I was trying to just do something quickly that I can make a video out of and show you guys how I did it, but I like the way this one turned out, so I'm keeping this one. I might use this a few times to see how it works. I know this one works okay, and I hope you all enjoyed it. This has been another IZBLAB video, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to check out the video. I hope it helped. I wish you all luck in your attempts at making your own graphics art glove, and have a great day. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.